welcome to Curated by Chelsea, or welcome back if you've been here before. I am Chelsea, and today we are really just going to jump right into this video. We were talking about the 5 things I'm doing in the year 2025. It was initially 10 things, but I needed to narrow it down because I didn't want this video to be super duper long, and I know you guys are not going to sit through all that talking. I know it. Anyway, let's jump right into it. So the first thing that I will be doing this year that will probably differ from other years is committing the year to making art. I have already started. I started technically last year, but I really want to keep the momentum going. I want to continue to paint. I want to continue to draw. I just really want to continue to make art. And I'm not really like focusing on, it has to be so meaningful and groundbreaking or anything like that. I just love the process of creating art. I love doing studies. I recently just got into color studies and I'm finding that really fun, and I get to use colored pencils. I can use any medium I want, but doing color studies actually helps a lot. And I think when you do a study just in general, it really sharpens your skills in both drawing and painting. But yeah, I just really want to focus on that. I really love the entire process from start to finish. And I don't really find that there's an annoying part. And that is not something that I saw with my digital illustration. Like, I found digital illustration to be kind of annoying sometimes because if it didn't shape up the way that I wanted, I would typically just stop. Whereas with painting, I will tend to keep going, or I'll just give myself a break and then I'll come back and I have a fresh new set of eyes. And the process of painting and drawing is just so different than digital art. I don't know what it is. I still do like digital art, but I think that is definitely taking a back burner to traditional art because it's going to be the whole year. I'm still going to be doing the whole multi-passionate thing. If it does switch over to sewing or crocheting, that's still art. And I definitely want to lean back into crocheting, of course. I know soon I probably will start sewing. So yeah, I absolutely love the process of making art and creating art. So I definitely want to commit this year to creating that. So number 2 is I'm going to start scrolling less. I am a scrolling addict at this point, and I have tried to stop in the past, and it works for a while, and then I don't do it. It's so bad. And when TikTok was banned, I had a moment of reprieve where I was like, okay, I really don't need to scroll. There's no reason for me to scroll. But then, we got 14 hours of that reprieve, and then I went right back to it, and maybe even harder. I realized okay, I'm scrolling a lot. And, after post-election and post-inauguration, I think it got even worse because I wanted to hear people's thoughts on everything that's been happening. And I do find it really hard to not scroll at this point in time. And I really need to get a handle on it. So that is another reason why I am committing this year to art, because when I'm doing my art, there's no time to scroll. So the only time I will be scrolling is if I'm looking for inspiration. I'm looking for a tutorial on color studies, or I just need a tutorial on something. So that's the only time I scroll. Maybe when I'm looking for something to watch on Netflix, but just it has to be scrolling that is leading me to do something that I love doing. And I am definitely going to be replacing scrolling with hobbies. That'll be another topic that I'll go over soon, because I really got to get a handle on this scrolling. It is getting to a point where I feel like it's ruining my attention span, and I need to pick up a damn book. Seriously, it's getting pretty bad. So bad. Number 3 is health and wellness. I am definitely putting a focus on health and wellness, and it's not going to be super structured. Something I noticed about myself is I don't do super structured very well. When I do, it works for the time being, but then after a while, I'm bored out of my mind. But I will definitely be going to the gym more and staying on top of my diet. Diet-wise, it's more so just get protein, get fiber. And if I can do those 2 things, I think I'm good. So high protein, high fiber, not low carb though, just medium amount of carbs, because I lift weights. So when I do lift, I do like to have the carbs as fuel. The protein and the fiber is great for just regular everyday stuff, but the carbs is really good for when you're lifting. It's going to be a mixture of Pilates and weightlifting, or strength training, whatever you want to call it. So I am going to be back on top of that, but I don't want to become obsessive like I did before. What I'm going to do is split my week. So the beginning of the week, I'll probably do more Pilates, and then the end of the week, I'll do weightlifting or go to the gym, because right now the gym is crazy. It's insanely packed in there, and I really hate being around a lot of people when I'm working out. So I will do my weightlifting on the weekend or at the end of the week. And then in the beginning of the week, just focus on Pilates at home, because I am not really interested in being around a ton of people. Probably mid-spring is when it'll die down a little bit more, and I'll figure that out when that time comes. But for now, definitely weekends or like end of the week to weekend gym, early week home. Also, I am getting into some things. I'm calling it like my little bougie series, where I'm doing things like wood therapy, dry brushing, gua sha. So that's going to fit into the health and wellness. I'm also going to be like making my own syrups at home for like my chai or my coffee. And I want to like make my own ginger ale. And I also want to get into juicing, because I know juicing can help with skin and stuff. Really just like turmeric, beet, and ginger juice. And then I want to like get into the ginger ale making. I think that'll be fun. I already do make my own bread, so I want to stay on top of that as well. I make sourdough bread, and that is really good for your gut. So I really want to like keep that in my diet as much as I can. I'm already pretty much there. It's just staying on top of it, not snacking as much. And finding alternatives to different snacks is the hard part for me, because I am such a chip monster, but I really need to get out of that. Okay, number 4, I will definitely have to go more into depth about, but I want to story build versus traditional goal setting. So the way I see it, if I am building my life like you would build a story for like a book, it works out for me. I see myself as the main character, and I need to figure out in, act 1 where I am, and then what is act 3 or 4 or 5 gonna look like. I'll do 4. Since a year is 12 months, it just makes sense to do it in quarters. Where I am now is more of like character development versus like that really super structured goal setting. And in my mind, that really works for me. The way I see it is, since I am so creative and I really only do creative things, it makes sense to goal set in a more creative way versus goal setting in the more traditional way. I really am going to like try to structure my life as if I'm structuring a book. And I, have been looking at different story building videos on YouTube, and I have seen a huge difference in how I'm like thinking about things. And I'm just slowly like building the blocks. And I saw this idea on Threads. I like go on Threads sometimes and just look at some of the content ideas that people have. And there's this man on there. His name is Paul Scrivens. I think that's how you say his name. Just very insightful person. And I just have been really loving some of the ideas that he has for content and also just for life in general. I definitely love the whole idea of story building versus traditional goal setting. I definitely will be making a video on that as well, and I want to share that with you guys. So when I do share that video, tune in, because I think everybody could change their mindset, because it's a mindset shift, like to be able to story build versus that SMART goals. SMART goals have never, ever worked for me. So it'll be interesting to try to do it this way. Last but not least is number 5. So this year I want to really take documenting and archiving more seriously. Really, that's like scrapbooking and journaling. I just really want to focus on that, because I said it the other day on my Instagram story that I feel called to document and archive things. Since I was little, I have always taken pictures. Like, I was the girl who always brought a camera, disposable camera, on the school field trips with me. Last day of school, I'd bring like a disposable camera. And then as I got older, I had a digital camera. Like, I always brought my digital camera with me everywhere. I had an Olympus, like, I don't even know the like code name for it, but I had an Olympus digital camera, and I just used to take pictures. And I still to this day have some of those pictures, and I still have the camera as well. But yeah, I always was one to take pictures. It's weird that I'm not a photographer, but I don't think that was my path to be a photographer. However, I do love taking pictures, and I love scrapbooking. Like, I kind of scrapbook in my own way, but even with like drawing and painting, I do see that as like archiving things. I definitely like to tell stories through my art. And you can kind of see that in some of my art, but not all of it. But I am getting the hang of storytelling in my art. I feel very called to document and archive. And I think that's why I keep holding on to content creation so hard, because I could just stop content creation and focus only on painting and drawing, but content creation just calls my name. It just does. That's going to be something that I am doing, like fully doing. So I am thinking about finishing out my last journal and then switching to a bigger sketchbook or scrapbook and using that as a way to document my life. I have been restructuring some of my journaling by addressing someone in the future versus just writing out thoughts and being one big brain dump. I'd love to take you on that process with me. So there's lots of processes I want to share on here and lots of different journeys that can go different ways. This is the year that I'm just like experimenting with my life, and right now it feels absolutely right. I've said this before about other things in the past, but yeah, it just feels right. And I just want to keep on going. And I hope that if you're watching, this resonates with you and you feel called to do more creative things and you feel like you want to restructure your life in a different way, you want to go through a mindset shift that focuses more on creativity, yeah, definitely hit that subscribe button if you want to see more like this, because I definitely love this path more than the way that I was going. Trying to do things more traditionally, like even a traditional art channel, isn't for me, and I know that. Trying to put out art videos just really wasn't working for me. But you guys will still see like that process in B-roll, but you may not see like a full-on video again of me like painting again. It's just, I don't enjoy it. And I have to do things that I enjoy. So that is all. Thank you so much for watching if you made it this far. Stay tuned for the next video and I will see you in the next one. Bye.